Suitcase dumped over right there.
Hello, everybody. Are we ready to get started? Okay, let me get it back up in my page. I'm going to stop my page for 30 seconds.
Oh, and can you hear Andy pretty well with this? So if you are talking on your phone, it's going to be on YouTube. Just so you know. Or if you have a negative comment about this.
Yes, hey.
Keep it to yourself.
Don't ruffle this for a good reason. I thought
I'll crumble it up right here. Oh, actually, I can take my stuff right here.
Very similar.
Okay, everybody. Now we're going to start. Thank you all for coming. Busy time of year. I appreciate you putting this in your schedule. It's an incredible pleasure to introduce Andy Ask, H2 No. Who's heard of this book? Raise your hand. If you haven't, go like this. It's an amazing book. It really is. The whole first chapter is one of the most coherent and pithy overviews of all building science principles as they relate to moisture dehumidification. You should sell just the first chapter. the rest of it's quite good too. Adam just bought a copy. 2 left in Austin, they're for sale. They're $50 each. Any of the questions I was going to say about the technical stuff, if you get into the engineering, come to our happy hours ask. We respond to all of it. So Andy wrote H2 No. He's also had a long career dealing with humidity issues. He lives in a city that is more humid than ours. We're in like a very humid region, but actually Houston has more humidity than we do. But he lives in Florida, which you call South Florida where you live?
Southwest Florida, we call it. Locally.
Yeah. So that's like the humid armpit of Florida, which is the humid armpit of the. That's fun.
Is armpit the
By the way, this is on YouTube, so I just said it on YouTube. So I'll just let him get started. I did want to tell you to get as much out of his brain as you can by asking questions. Don't hold them to the end. If you have questions, just bring them on. We want to make this a really good session for you. He has just confided to me that he's more interested in answering the questions that you all have than in actually getting through his material. So without further ado, Andy Ask.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Andy. I'm from Southwest Florida. I'm an HVAC engineer. I think we would safely say I'm an old HVAC engineer.
Can you guys all hear him?
Okay,
we're good.
I've been doing it for just over 50 years now. And I'm going to ignore anything from the front row. This part of the front row.
Good idea.
And approximately, I guess about half that, last 25 years I've practiced in Southwest Florida, where we indeed are in a hot, humid climate. And we may not be more humid than here, but probably the difference is it just goes on.
More consistently, yeah.
And probably if I were to compare the two climates, heating is irrelevant. Like I've been around this town, I've seen gas furnaces. I haven't seen gas furnaces a little bit more. If you build a house in my town, the way these guys build houses, I would defy you to ever get to put heating on without getting something too hot. So I developed a specialty by my own I'm saying especially at one in Florida, that are dealing with humidity in buildings and controlling humidity in hot climates. And then, I felt strongly enough about that here in the last 2 years. Then I signed on as a consultant to Ultra Air dehumidifiers. So I'm a paid consultant to not only promote the use, but help the client. I'm here now, but I went to the house or two with Joe and Christoph and see how I can help them with the dehumidifiers. So let's get going with this. Maybe we have time again. We can talk about dehumidifiers.
And it is not enough forward, or you?
I'll plug it over here. And then forward or down.
I think either one.
This is going to be an AIA course. I would mention when we started here, I've got an obligation to present to you the AIA CEU approved material. If you interrupt me with more important questions, the more important one I'm talking about, then that wouldn't be my fault, would it? If I don't get through whatever it is I have in my mind today, it will be some years down. So we're talking about how moisture, temperature, and wind affect the hull. I'm pretty preachy about this stuff. So I'm going to start with a little bit of liturgy, as though we were in church. I'm going to cram a little bit of thermodynamics down your throat, whether you like it or not. I'm going to move over here so I'm going to trip over this cord.
Yeah.
I'll do this. Let's go. All right. There's 3 laws of the thermodynamics: first, second, and third. Then whoever numbered them decided that we needed one more thing. But we already used 1, 2, and 3. It was the first one, so we got a 0. When we run heat loss and heat input calculation, we're working on the first law. It has to do with energy. All that says is energy can either be created or destroyed. This is tough stuff, but I don't care for the first to understand a little bit about it. Thermal is pretty tough. Like I say, most of us are people who understand parts of it. Number 2, it has to do with what we're going to talk about today. If you had to put my talk in terms of thermodynamics, we're talking about the second law today. Third law has to do with absolute 0, and I don't want to talk about that. Here's how I feel about thermodynamics. First time through thermodynamics, you don't understand it at all. Second time through thermodynamics, you think you understand it. And I think some of Christoph's people might be about it. That's me.
I think I understand.
I'm down here. The third time through thermodynamics, you realize you don't but you're used to it, but now you don't care anymore. All right. Who was it? Don Rumsfeld said, I'm in part where I now know that I don't know. No. And in more ordinary language, my 3 laws, the 3 laws of thermodynamics are: you can't win, you can't even break even, and you can't get out of the game. Everything I talk about today really has to do mostly with the second law. The second law tells us that fluids move from areas of high pressure to low pressure. Heat moves from hot to cold, and moves from wet to dry. Not too tough. The first one, this doesn't have too much to do. You better get a little bit. Fluids move from regions of high pressure to low pressure. That means if the pressure is higher than is outside, out of the atmosphere, there's a leak, the air moves from inside the tire to outside the tire. Most of us can handle that. But that's the one that screws up mechanical engineers. You wonder why your mechanical or HVAC designs don't work. Because mechanical engineers really have a hard time with that one. We believe that what causes fluids to move from higher to low, from one region to another, is air. I do aeroplanes. It comes out there, and it comes down here, and it goes back in there. It turns out...
Attic ventilation, too.
Yeah, it turns out the air doesn't read air. It follows that one. So, just to summarize that one, what you really need to remember about the second law is that fluids move from areas high to low, heat moves from warm to cold, moisture moves from wet to dry. Or if I put a wet towel down next to a dry towel, the The dry towel gets wet, the wet towel doesn't get dry. Just good stuff to think about, and good stuff to think about what's happening in the building. All right, instantly, who's not counting positive energy and JoJo? Was anybody here last night? I mean, two different. Okay, so we have, some of it's going to be repetitive, sorry. And particularly positive energy guys, they're all looking for. We've mostly heard about how we're trying the buildings and making them more energy efficient. And I want to talk a little bit about how that affects us. Christoph covered this last night. So, in terms of the building, would be to separate the inside from the outside. Very barrier. I think Christoph said last. What do you call it?
Environmental separator.
Environmental separator.
Functional device.
Good. I wanted to add last night, the problem sometimes with the architects is that the barriers turn out to be diaphanous, which is not a good thing in this case.
What does that mean?
Diaphanous? It's something the architects say.
Architects, anyone?
It's
Any architects in here?
gauzy, full of holes.
If I were to hang a string of beads down this column line, like rows of beads,
Like the 70s thing?
yeah, okay, that would be diaphanous. Okay, here's something you'd understand.
I love that.
Or a filming negligee is diaphanous. Does that illustrate the point better?
It's on YouTube. So
I know. All right. So a good barrier from the inside and outside, we want a building to provide us with 4 barriers. There's barriers against water, air, vapor, and the thermal barrier. Barrier, heat flowing from inside to outside or back. Which is the most important one of these barriers? Positive energy can't answer. What do you say? Water.
Air.
Who says it? Okay, this is a line I stole from you, a friend of ours. Has any of you got a call from a client in the middle of the night that says, you gotta come out here right now, my thermal barrier has failed? No. The water barrier is the most important. In other words, a building failed, it can't keep water out of it. So that's always the most important barrier. The second most important barrier is the air barrier. That's the one we probably understand, sometimes we understand the least. It's important to keep air from moving from outside to inside or inside to outside. We'll talk more about that later. I don't know what to think about vapor as a barrier. I would probably describe it as the vapor barrier. Vapor barrier is a vapor retarder.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with thermal.
Yeah, that's correct. Good point, Christoph. I shouldn't be using the same language. The water barrier has to, in order to succeed, the water barrier has to stop all water. Or if any water enters the building, the water barrier fails. We know we're going to gain or lose heat. That's the retarder. The vapor barrier is a little the same way. And again, so I make sure I say it today. I got another colleague in me and mine came up with this. The best way to make sure you don't put the vapor barrier in the wrong place is don't use one. So that's kind of vapor barrier or not. But what we agreed last night, I said you want to put a vapor barrier like this under a slab, not in the sand, anything this concrete slab in the building. And you want to put one anywhere where you're doing refrigeration.
Where you have a swimming pool.
A swimming pool. So indoor swimming pools, refrigerated cases, wine rooms, and not too much else. Other than that, we can better off retard vapor, but let's not try to stop it. Really, we stop it, we get condensation. Okay, how do today's building practices affect this? I said 1973 because I actually was working then. That was October 1973 was oil embargo. My world changed in October 1973. Up the land, nobody cared about how much energy we use these buildings. It was cheap and plentiful, and we thought unlimited. Life is good. after 1973, we realized that energy is indeed a suitable, resource, we need to conserve it, and it's expensive. So, since then, ethics, economics, and the building code dictated that we use less energy. By ethics, I just mean that, and I'm guessing I could include everyone in this group. Probably not sold in here who disagree. It's just good behavior to start to conserve energy. Right, I put a word in your mouth.
Can we get an amen?
Yeah, an amen there, that's a good one.
Preaching.
Economically conserve energy. And now the building code. So really, this is like final goal, we don't really need to talk about the others. I get mixed up with my states. We just got a new building code, a new energy code in Florida. I haven't found the one. I give an example would be, roofs now have to be R30, and your guys are R38 for roofs. So in 1973, by comparison, I think our commercial building roofs were R5.
Whoa.
On paper, and it's rigid insulation. Yeah, one in Ohio, I practice in Ohio, I'm not sure about Florida. But one inch rigid, that was considered a good roof. Now what do you suppose that was once the roof failed, the membrane failed, and that's what we water?
Negative.
Zero. I think we, I can't remember. Anyway, fast forwarding up to now we're up we're in my towers are 30, most of the time we're up to R30, IR factors. And what's complicated then is we made buildings airtight again. I think we got it next. This stuff you all know. In the wintertime, warm air is inside, the heat's trying to get out. In the summertime, heat and humidity's trying to get in. I would only statement I make about that is when it's outside, the humidity is also in here, and it's trying to get out. So, for example, if humidity escapes into the northern attic, we vent the attic so that we get the humidity out of the attic before it rots the sheathing. When it's warm outside, here's my count all the time. There we go. All right. The humidity is out here trying to get in. And in here, you're worth both ways, correct? Most of the time, it's like this, you also deal with heating. Well, the lesson there is that the physics for both is exactly the same, but the weather is different. So that's why in northern climates, we always learn to put the vapor barrier on the inside. Well, it wasn't on the inside, but the warm side. Here, the warm side is on the outside a lot of the time. Which leads me to the very profound statement is you don't know for sure whether the inside or the outside of the warm side. Don't put a vapor barrier. Because one of the two situations you're going to get condensation. What are a little building air tightness? Does everybody know what these numbers mean? I know the guys from Positive Energy do. Down here, like I say, 550. But I mean, well, let me just start briefly. This is our code, right, Christoph?
Mm-hmm.
And which one is true? Are we going on 2 or 3?
3. No, 2, I'm sorry.
2.
We're in 2A.
All right. Now, we discussed this before. We're not going to be enforcing it for another year. And is that enforced here? Somebody help me.
Yes.
I mean, you have to test a new building for that. Okay, so who have you all seen a blower door yet? Okay. A blower door, real blower door test. All right, if you haven't seen it, Christoph and his guys drive up, and they put this big red canvas thing in the front door. It's got a round opening in it, and we put a blower in there. We run the blower. We test the house with a blower. And we very cleverly call that a blower door. Because we're ingenious people. So we put the the house under 1 heck of a vacuum. We bring it down to 50 pascals. 50 pascals is about 2/10 of an inch of static for those of you that work in HVAC. If I said 2/10 of an inch of static, the HVAC people understand it, and we have to pay Christoph to tell you what it means. So we put the house into a serious vacuum, and then we, the board or in the computer, we read out how much air we have to exhaust out of that house to create that vacuum. And somebody helped with the number here, I think you're on 3,000 CFM, 2,000 square foot house, that's kind of air it would take.
Oh, that's probably closer to like 1,800, 1,700.
Okay, so that kind of air, okay, all right. If I divide that by the volume of the house, you're on 5, so we have to build the house tight enough.
And we should point out that he says a heck of a vacuum. We're all sitting right now in 101,000 pascals of pressure. So we put a small differential of 50 across the enclosure, and it is representative of the differentials that weather and mechanicals.
Yeah. So
it's not like we're, stressing the house and going to make it explode or implode or something.
It will look a little bit like a restaurant, right? Or a bar. Well, not a bar. Or a man's bar. The other one, something. But in other words, so some little restaurant has a kitchen exhaust and then has a proper meter system, and you feel the pressure on the front door. That might be 50 pascal.
Right.
I don't want to dwell too much on that. All that means is that the buildings have to be built quite tightly. And again, we don't have to debate the why, because of the code tells us we got to do that. Now, why are we doing that? Well, I said, okay, I should have had a fourth reading here. The first reading is the code tells us that we don't have to debate it. All right, build it tight, build it right. Okay. We would probably all agree that buildings need to have more insulation. We keep rationing up amount of insulation within buildings. Again, in my world since 1973, we keep adding more and more insulation, increasing the R. And I think we probably all understand that. But why the heck? I say build it right, build it tight. That's one of our buzzwords. Why the heck do we have to make it so tight? Okay, code. But the problem is one of the problems is that insulation doesn't even work. You have to build that. It just air that resists heat and flow. All right, the operative word there should be dead air space. If we have air flowing through the wall or through the ceiling, we don't have dead air space anymore. We have convection and the insulation doesn't work. And actually, this gets worse. We do more and more research. We're finding out that air leakage is deadly insulation. I won't go any further than that today, but I'll just ask you to take it, my word, that construction assemblies have to be very, very tight to make insulation work. Something that maybe a little easy to understand is that air infiltration is a source of moisture. Probably a couple ways that moisture gets into buildings from the outside. The one we talk more about is diffusion through the walls. We talk about permeability, we talk about vapor barrier more today. So if we don't have a vapor barrier or don't have a vapor retarder, moisture will come through construction materials by diffusion. Right? That's very important because that moisture does the most harm if it condenses into the water and then damages the material and causes rot. But it's not a lot of moisture. The much greater amount of moisture comes in as the moisture that's mixed with the outside air. So the air entering the building is a transport mechanism for moisture. So that's probably the biggest reason why we keep the building tight. We don't introduce moisture, we're not getting the plant.
And to put that in perspective, I just did some math. I pretended this room was 15, 25, and 40, so that many cubic feet. And at good indoor conditions, that's around 1,200 pounds of air in this space, and coincidentally, around 12 pounds of water in the air in this space. And that was at 75 degrees, 50% RH, which is considered, dry and comfortable. So when you're pulling in outdoor air, it can be hundreds of pounds of water vapor a day coming through your wall. So don't feel it's just some fluffy little water. It's a lot. It's a big damage function.
Okay, so the air that enters with infiltration, big source of moisture. The building's tight. I just want to talk a little bit about contaminants in buildings. We had a mechanical system, we had furniture, we had exhaust systems, we had people, pets, and we do cooking. I'm just talking, I want to just talk a little bit about sources of moisture. Back to the So I call it the 4 P's. The sources of moisture in a home in particular are people, pets, cooking, and plants are some of the sources of moisture. People, pets, pots, plants. Can't even say that.
And pests love moisture.
And so I should have said at the top of the talk, because of my practice and the product I work with, I have a residential bias. I should have said that at the start of it. Again, who works on homes here and then okay, a lot of people work in homes. So these are a lot of people that do work in houses. So I want to apologize. Everything I'm saying today is kind of leaning towards homes, the physics concept, all apply to commercial buildings.
But your career is institutional.
Yeah. But I'm like a lot of people. I went to Florida because the weather was nice. I couldn't stand in Minnesota because it was cold. And I got down to the beach and I got to pay the bills. So I couldn't find an institution to work on. I found that there's rich people come to Naples and they built houses and they need help. So I said, so the last 10 years I've been a residential guy. Now, the air tightness, the added insulation and air tightness is kind of creating a dilemma that we add insulation to conserve energy. We make the building airtight so the insulation will work. The problem is, there's 2 problems. Now the building is tight, we need ventilation for comfort for the people inside of it. And we have an increased potential for condensation because we don't have to put any with the moisture you have. Let's talk a little, I'm going to just shift gears and talk a little bit about ventilation. People in my business, we're endlessly debating the amount of air we need. We've been debating it at least since about 1896, the first time the predecessor AIA got together in New York City. And I'll skip the history leading up to the present. The code that's coming, again, Chris will help me out soon, in the next code cycle.
I think they're going to announce it.
So it's going to require the home has about 90 CFM of fresh air for the occupants. Right now, we need about 50 CFM.
For 2,000 square foot.
Yeah, we're right in the neighborhood. That's about how much air. We could spend here an afternoon a week debating.
They're decreasing the infiltration credit, which is good.
Yeah.
You don't want to allow air to keep your walls to ventilation.
All right. So now that the house is tight, now the code is going to require us to mechanically ventilate it. Again, let the local guys chime in here and tell what the practice is.
Just ignore the bottom of that slide where it says exhaust.
Okay, but that meets the legal requirement, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the Wild West.
All right. So what's different in my town is different right now than here. This has been the case here. When did you adopt the code? Last year or so? When you ever adopt?
You guys know when we went on IECC 2012?
Anyway.
I think it was September 2013.
Anyway, the home now needs mechanical ventilation. That's code requirement. All right. I'll read from the bottom. You can ventilate your home with exhaust. So if you have a 50 CFM bathroom fan that has a switch on it, you're going to have to know it, and maybe the car punched. In Florida, you can. Maybe true here, I don't know. If you use that strategy for ventilating your home, you're depending upon the mistakes that your plumber and electrician made to decide where the air comes from. Better to supply that if you see it in the home through the system, and in my world, maybe through the humidifier. And I think they got to put the old straight. Or we use a balance system, where we bring the air in through an ERD and exhaust back out again. Again, we use ERDs here.
Rare.
Okay. So exhaust fan, ERD and backwards, and then that would be my way of doing it. We put a dedicated dehumidifier in and bring the fresh air into the dehumidifier, get mixed out with the return air of the space, and interjects it into the HVAC system. I'll let my cartoon show this one here. That's the inside of if you work in big houses, you can recognize this big box with a launch on the back of it. So that's a quick exercise in how the dehumidifier works. If we get time at the end here, we talk more about dehumidifiers.
And we have one on at our office if you guys want to come see one, kick the tires.
Go back to a little bit of that was really fun. Now let's talk about things even more fun. Again, get over here. Condensation within building construction is a bad thing. And there's a wall every premise of the wall, every other set of walls. So why is condensation more of a concern now than it was, say, before 1973? Because in old houses, again, I talked about houses, and we talked about a number of this last night. There's a lot of fine homes in Austin that are studs, brick and air, and some other stuff going on, and plastic inside. They don't have any insulation. So just think about heating. When you're in heating, with cold weather and heating, you'll lose a lot of heat through those walls, and we get gas goes up down. Right? When we've got a lot of heat going through the walls, or there's a lot of heat coming in the summertime, that keeps the interior of the stud space warm and dry. And life is good. And the house lasts for 100 years. Right? But as we tighten the construction, and as we add insulation, we make that stud space cooler and cooler and cooler. After which we get closer to the dew point, and we have increased potential condensation. If I to summarize that, as we add insulation, we try to put this in a buzzword. We increase the potential for wetting, and we decrease the potential for drying. That's why this becomes more important all the time. Okay, most everybody understands the concept of dew point. That's the temperature at which water begins to condense out of the air. Okay. We talked about this earlier. I got a tricky answer. What's the most relative humidity? No?
Absolute or relative humidity?
Relative humidity. Good question.
No.
Do you want to guess?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. St. Paul, Idaho, Alaska. 83%.
Yeah.
Relative humidity, because cold. The air is almost saturated there. Why?
What about absolute humidity?
That might be New Orleans.
Not
Maybe Brownsville or Naples, probably. All right, that's a Mickey slide. Okay, every year, Mickey slide.
Mickey Kruger.
Right. That was her slide. Okay. I want to.
So by the way, we're at about 20 minutes.
All right. Let me Get to a cruise, I'd like to want to talk about this stuff.
I don't remember the rest of the talks.
I got, I might, okay, I should probably mention,
So raise your hand if you absolutely leave right at one, and if you could stay a few minutes. Who's leaving right at one? I mean, it's realistic. So you should probably cruise through.
the statement at the top is probably worth, knowing about, is, the, I'm going to talk just a little bit, it's not a personal message, I just want to talk about the dehumidifier. Dehumidifiers are rated in pints per day. So if you walk up in the dehumidifier, and got 70 or 100 written on the side of it, that means that under the conditions in which it's rated, it will remove, say it's 100 on the dehumidifier, that means that they got 100 pints of water per day.
Well, they're also rated on pints per watt,
Yes, that's important.
as opposed to an air conditioner, which is not. It's rated on cooling and heating per watt.
Okay, and I'm not sure why we do that. It's just the way it is. A pint is about a pound of water. So, for most purposes, you can take a pint and a pound of water is interchangeable. So, for the humidifier is rated for, let's see, suppose you had a hypothetical humidifier rated at 96 pints per day. That's about 96 pounds a day. And if I divided 96 by 24, that would be about 4 pounds an hour. That's about how much water we do. So it means that, the humidifier, should be able to fill a gallon jug in an hour of water. And then I fill a 5-gallon pail a day or more. Actually, I might share something that's actually might be useful in the real world. Is it has to do with the humidifier product. The humidifiers are rated at 80 degrees and 60% local humidity. I don't expect you to remember that number. But if you read literature, the 70 pint, that's a common size. So it would take out 70 pints a day. That's if you're operating at 80 degrees and 60% local humidity. Okay, we don't live 80 degrees and 60%. I try to live about 75 degrees and 50%. Right? That'll knock that performance down by about a fourth or a third.
Mm-hmm.
So the manufacturers aren't lying when you say that it's a 7 pints per day. But if you put it in a house where you're under normal comfortable conditions, it's going to get about 2/3 of that. That's a little drier, you're getting more like half of that. So it's going to take more like 4 hours to fill that gallon jug. So just a little bit of fine print. I want to, 7,000. This is trivia. We talk a little about grains, at least Christoph does. We talk about, in here right now, the moisture content of this air is about somewhere around 60 grains per pound of dry air. Outside today it's like what, 90 to 100, and 9 days, 140. So that's good. Again, that's another curve we got to throw at you just so. I guess we don't want you to understand what it is we do.
And so that 86 degrees, 60% RH that he just did is 115 grains that they're rated at. And you can get free apps, Psychrometric, just Google it.
Yeah.
Or find it on your app store or whatever. Put in temperature, humidity, and elevation, and you can get grains and dew point. Start thinking in grains and dew point.
Okay. So it's 2 units of measurement. There's 7,000 grains in a pound. Again, might be 7,000 grains of wheat, might be 7,000 grains of oil, right? Might be 7,000 grains of sand. I'm not going to keep for that. Matt probably knows that. Involved in Matt, yes.
Oh, yeah, I've been trying to copy.
Well, that's okay. You have to know what a grain is. You where we get that?
It's from Mesopotamia. According to Wikipedia, which you know. It's
Sorry.
It's from Joseph storing it up for the Israelites, I think, isn't it?
Okay, that's all right. I know this stuff is exciting. My kid's a mechanical engineer, and he leaves the room if I start. I can't even talk shop with him. So, I feel like like a guy hauled up trash or an oncologist or a proctologist. It's not that I'm so smart. I've been able to make a living at this because no one else wants to. Who the hell wants to spend a career talking about this? Except Joe. Joe finding this stuff very exciting of you. Yeah, okay, I can. Something that is important is dew point, is because we need to keep the temperature in our walls above the dew point. So and we don't want condensation in the windows, we're gonna stay above the dew point. I just mentioned there's about 4 ways I know that we measure dew point, and you'll hear us toss all these terms around. So it's just worth knowing that we talk about the dew point temperature. We talk about grains per pound of dry air. So you'll hear us talking about it's 120 grains.
115 was that.
We measure here, we probably got might have 100 grains per pound in the air right now.
Maybe there's a lot of people breathing.
Probably 100 pounds of 100 grains of moisture every pound of air in this room right now. That's actually the humidity ratio. Engineers like me and some scientists that work for Christoph like to talk about pounds of water per pound of air. That's the humidity ratio. Means the exact same thing. But since there's not many pounds of water per pounds of dry air, we get a bunch of zeros after this in place, before I should say, makes it very complicated. Mm-hmm. So grains, let's just talk about whole numbers. And then finally, we got vapor pressure. Moisture, water in the air is vapor. So if you hear us toss these things around, there's 4 different ways of talking about exactly the same thing. I think probably the most common we want to use dehumidification is the grains. Because let's talk about whole numbers. You can get an app for motor air.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, you do that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
You can get it from Ultra.
You got any?
Yeah, it's just an app. Oh, it's
It's free.
It's free, right?
Joe,
Yeah.
it's an app, not an app.
It looks like you want to
Yeah.
give out the
Yeah.
little wheel over
Yeah.
there on the left.
Right.
For us old people,
Yeah, okay, you probably have like 10 of those, that's why we don't have any mats anymore, you got them all.
I probably do.
Gary, Ray, all those guys, right? So you get either, you get these, or I don't use the supervisor app, let's say, Chris doesn't use apps on the,
Well, it does the same thing.
all those things, okay?
Agnostic.
Dew points, all this tells us is that again, this is a really profound. This says the dew point down around here is high, 70, and the highest we have in North America is right along here. And the dew point is lower up there. And if you're just so happy that an expert amount of time flew in here and called you over here today.
It's humid.
So we just learned today that it's humid here. I think these slides fell on the floor this morning. I'm sure I had some reason I put them in this order, I can't tell you. I'm going to get back to how much dehumidification we need. Occupants add about a quarter pound each. Each one was we breathe out. Exhale about a quarter pound per hour. I won't talk about that. We should understand this. The outside air that we bring in is going to add about 24 pounds per day to the house. It's going to be about 24 pounds of moisture. That's about 3 gallons of water we're bringing in. We add that to the occupants. The moisture load would go on an average home about 36 pounds a day.
So we're doing about 9 pounds an hour in here, maybe slightly less.
Right. We gotta take it out of the dehumidifier. Why is dehumidification important? Okay, high humidity is not good for health. High humidity is uncomfortable. High humidity will affect belongings. It's bad for our structure. Some of these people will tell you it's bad for your health. Actually, suggested that humidity ought to be under 60%. And somebody says that we're most comfortable in early humidity is between 25 and 60%.
Can I get some? NIH in February added the language, they said elevated indoor humidity is a known causal factor for asthma and other allergies and sleep apnea. So known causal factor language is very significant for my knowledge.
If I were to, I would have said this down here, don't let anybody, including me, tell you the humidity has to be 50%. I love 50% of the humidity. Anywhere between 25 and 60% should keep people comfortable.
25% is really hard to get to.
What is?
25% is really hard to get to here, unless you have a dry, an order.
It's not an issue.
And you use a lot more energy to get to 45% than 50%.
Yeah.
You should really keep it 50.
Right. So what this tells us is that 50% is the worst condition for all these creatures. Creatures like drier, creatures like more humid. 50% is good. Bad for creatures, good for us. Here's the point I want to wrap this up. I'll read what it says. For each degree, the temperature increases, the relative humidity decreases 2%. For a given amount of moisture, the warmer the temperature, the lower the relative humidity. First, I'll see if we can get to this side of the house. I don't think I have any. Go ahead. No, I won't. That's right. Let's just get through these. It's right here. Two of you, go by it.
It was right here. This is a slide of an old house.
Okay, all right.
Wasn't it right here at the end?
It was. All off the. There you go. You get it on the feet. Yeah, I mean,
There you go, there's a slide of the old house.
I'll go back to the other one.
I didn't really talk too much about relative humidity today. Relative humidity, as the name word implies, is the amount of moisture that's in the air compared to how much moisture there could be in the air. All right, if you're concerned about drying or wetting, relative humidity is the parameter that we want to home in on. In other words, if you want to know, like something's damp, you want to hang out clothes. If you have drywall on it, you want to get it, how long is it to dry? If you're concerned with whether or not things can be damaged by high humidity, you should be concerned about relative humidity. A whole bunch of ways to talk about humidity. So relative humidity is a good number to zero in on if you're concerned about drying. So if we have in here now, I'm guessing the relative humidity is about 60% maybe. Somewhere in the neighborhood. No? Yeah, but okay. If I want to lower the relative humidity in here, there's two ways I can do it. I can we can dehumidify it from the air conditioning, or you could buy a dedicated dehumidifier and remove moisture. That would make it drier, that would lower the relative humidity. Okay, another way to raise relative humidity is to let the temperature go up. If you make it warmer in here, without taking down the main humidity, we're going to lower the relative humidity and increase the potential for drying. What I said was just an engineer's way of saying something more complicated, making things very complicated. I just said a very long way, heat dries. If you want to dry your hair, you use a hair dryer. It's got heat. If it's cold dried, in the hotel, instead of having a hair dryer, they have a little cylinder of refrigerant you spray down here. So I want to tie this back into something that Joe and Christoph and Jennifer were talking about last night. Because you got some fine homes here in Austin that don't have the layer. There's no layer of much of anything outdoors. And our concern was, in fact, someone did express in the cocktail hour afterwards, that we didn't have any real answers for them on how to prevent moisture from entering these buildings. It was more to the rain and humidity. Okay, Okay, look, okay, here's the thought. Let's leave the building alone, let's do what the doctor do, first do no harm, and let's just not cool the buildings, let's leave them warm. Nor is much, I'm sure there's probably some preservations in here, aren't you to say? People who like old buildings. And you don't want them. Okay, all right, one of the worst things we can do for an old building is to cool it. So you got an old building and you want to take care of it, and you want it to last for another 2 generations. Consider leaving it alone and don't have air conditioning. Because let Mother Nature heat it with the sun, and that will roll over the relative humidity.
And clients will love that.
So even though I represent the dark side of that, I want to sell you dehumidifiers and consume electricity. That's the other way to move forward in there. Anyway, we're out of time. Is there any,
We got Steve in here.
good question? All we got here from time to like.
Is that an Austin name? Is that an Austin?
It's a Neil Concord house. Said about 1856. That's could go to the governor's mansion in this house and about 4 other.
Did you remodel that there?
We just restored the windows and the facade, not the pointing, not the stone.
So did you change the airflow or insulation?
No, the house performs just fine. You know, I mean, the structural masonry walls are oddly enough perform pretty well.
There's the walls.
It's this one that's a troublemaker. It doesn't have anything behind that. The brick veneer and a stud and chiplap on the inside. There's nothing in that wall.
So this cavity, this slide's been a
So
lot of
now we're
time.
going back. So it's a problem. It's interesting. And yes, there is one folder in the room.
Let's stay on.
You don't want to start pulling flies.
I just was, yes.
I have a question. So one of the ways these days that we ventilate, mechanically ventilate houses is put a damper with a duct to the exterior that drops in air at the recoil
Okay.
before it goes through the coil.
All right.
And it's got, you can set it typically
Oh, I
for
this thing.
minutes per hour,
All right.
that you want it to operate.
Yep.
First of all, do you think there are problems with that type of system? If it's a decent system, what do you think the minutes per hour should be seasonally on that type of?
Okay, so your, first of all, you're describing the traditional way to do mechanical ventilation.
Yeah, that's usually air.
Willis Gary was doing that, but just a little over 100 years ago. I'm fairly certain of. We do it all the time in commercial buildings, right? First of all, let's see, your question, is that really do it?
Is that an acceptable way?
Absolutely, okay, now, for that method crashes and burns, is first of all, is the proportion of outside air gets to be too much compared to the total air. So I'm really comfortable with that, around 10%. Like it's, you got a 2.5 ton system moving 1,000 CFM, and you could use about 100 CFM that way. I think that should work. But if we try to do like 200 CFM, like 20% of that, then we're introduce a lot of moisture to the top being dealt with. Now, I'm kind of taking advantage of you raised about three or four good questions. Is how often you're under your business?
Excuse me, how long? What?
How long? Should you set like for 15 minutes on the hour?
Ah, okay.
Okay. I'm from the school of thought that says outside air is for comfort. Thermistor, all air probably says it's for health. Well, maybe. But the primary reason for introducing ventilation here, as far as I'm concerned, is for comfort. In other words, if we can close the doors here, weld this in, and keep us here till about dinner time, somebody would want ventilation. It wouldn't be because we're getting sick, it wouldn't because it's unhealthy, it's very uncomfortable when we start smelling each other. All right, so ventilation is for comfort.
And that was the basis of the ventilation standards, was odor control.
Correct. So, we in my community has been arguing this for over 100 years. We thought it might be about 10 CFM, and we should be 7 or 8. Just before 1973, we thought it should be 30 to county smoking. Maybe around 7 CFM a person, a little more for the structure. So, and are you asking what a commercial in our house?
I'm curious for both the single family residential and multifamily residential business allowed too.
Okay, so we're talking volumes. Okay, I think that, around 50 CFM for a 2,000 square foot house is about right. Okay, the new code's coming in, I'm gonna say that I'm wrong.
That's a continuous.
Yeah, when people are present. Well, for example, if you're like a lot of people these days, you're working, what do you work? There's no reason there's no reason on the day as far as I'm concerned. I was on it about half the time. Now it makes too much difference if you run it every 30 minutes an hour or run it 12 hours a day or not be able to work and never have to go off anymore. But you decide that.
And these DQs have fantastic controllers that you can
Yeah.
schedule.
Right.
If it schedules
The algorithm, because I come to singles that are that, it sounds like you don't want that, is what you asked the question. You can crank that all in control. All the major competitor regulators.
It's just like
now. Yes, ma'am. Anyway, the answer is sooner or later, that will add moisture. Okay, but just give me 1 second.
And before Matt, just real quick, I want you to know that I've been asked to take him out to dinner tonight, and I'm going to the AIA holiday party, so you can see him there.
Yeah.
If you want to go out to dinner with us, please come along.
I could have talked a little bit more, and maybe I should have spent a little more time about that, so we could talk about. You're going to introduce moisture to the building, would be the home or the commercial building, you do that, you're going to area, the intake of the air handlers. All right, sooner or later, that's going to raise humidity in the building. If the air conditioning runs, to take out humidity, you're good to go. Okay, if it brings it back down to 50%, we're fine. The problem is, in nursing homes, is that they're so well insulated in multifamily that has sharing walls, there's no exposure, there's no air conditioning. The humidity keeps on coming in. The people from the outside air, the air conditioner never turn on.
Well, in theory, the damper only opens when the unit is on.
Yeah, well, the damage, well, they will, but it should open when there's people there.
He has a supplier event in his return, so when the return goes negative, he brings the bill.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So you can't even have that timer unless you turn your fan on.
Well, what was wrong with that picture is that in the multifamily, that air handler never running or everything. So the ventilation probably ought to be improved or something.
But it will pass code.
Like a dehumidifier or an ERV.
Well, we typically recommend on multifamily that it be dedicated outside air unit that's providing outside air instead of relying on it.
Absolutely.
And because that's guaranteed continuous fresh air all the time.
And that's wonderful. I could leave like that, but that can be expensive.
It is.
Okay. And now I'll get it. I'll lecture myself. We as an industry need to work with better solutions for that. So I don't think we figured out how to ventilate the small, cost effective.
Well, I have a little in-wall units that the heat transfer is basically a balance.
Yeah.
Pulling air in and kicking it out at the same time, and hopefully.
If I talk to later, I argue we still need to dehumidifier.
The bill is still expensive.
Let's go to Matt's question. You were going to say that.
It's already up for one, am I holding everybody up?
Well, hey, ladies,
Feel free to go.
thank you for having me.
Let's say goodbye, and then feel free to stay for questions. Okay, Matt.
So Andy, my question is, I've got a potential client that I interviewed for recently that tells me he's incorrectly sensitive to mold. And he's recently been diagnosed with some ultra-sensitive mold allergen issue. And so my question to you is, from a mechanical and a filtration standpoint, what are the things that you would recommend for a client like that? From filtration to bringing in fresh air to any other things that you can think of, as we're thinking about mold in a house as it relates to moisture.
New construction?
Yeah.
I'm not pretty much a filtration expert, so I don't know what you're kind of about, but a good filter. We're 12 or
Or
14.
14 is what you would say, right?
Yeah.
We can talk a lot more about it. Yeah, ASHRAE just upped their recommendation to the minimum MERV to be a MERV 13.
And I might say I have to
There's people
air
on
filter
set.
next to where he works or sleeps or wherever.
Mhm.
And the only thing I would say for sure, from my point, is I think relative humidity law. Make sure it lives in a structure that's been properly designed so that there isn't any kind of interstitial condensation. In other words,
No airflow through the fan joist, let's say.
right, in other words, if it's in Fort Myers, I would not want him to be in a home with a vented attic. And with a whole bunch of other stuff done wrong.
So what indoor relative humidity would you say your ultra air DU at for our client who has particularly high sensitivity to mold? Would you say keep it closer to 40 and spend a little extra money on dehumidification? Or would you say 45 or 50 is
In
just
a humid
fine?
climate, I'd say about 50%. And it's just too hard to get it lower. If you're
Spending money on
on
needlessly.
the curves, you're just beating your head against the wall. So about 50%. I would not necessarily bring in a lot of outside air, because we don't know that there's more microbial both in the outside air than the inside air.
But you need to ventilate.
You need to ventilate.
He does really tight enclosures.
Yeah, you need to ventilate, but I wouldn't bring any extraordinary amount of ventilation in.
Yeah.
I happen to be the school of thought, as I said, I think the ventilation is for comfort. Primarily comfort issue.
So then, Christoph, if you're bringing in outside air from somebody who's very mold or just in general pollen sensitive, what are the higher filtration ERV systems out there and or other systems that would be
See, that's the
very
thing.
high filtration? There aren't any,
So
are there?
air filtration is one piece of it, air purification, breaking down VOCs. So air filtration is catching particulate matter. And we suck in hundreds of pounds of air a day, and we often breathe in pounds of particles a day. So once again, I always like to make it crunchy and real, what's happening. So we want to take care of particulate, not get into his lungs, because that can exacerbate his immune system and make him sensitive to everything, including mold. When it comes to killing mold, as we all know, mold is a moisture problem. Mold is the canary, that says you have a moisture problem. But then there's the VOCs, which also can cause negative reactions. There's viruses and bacteria in the air, and those can be killed by other means. You need to be careful what you're doing when you put those in, because there's some plasma generator devices that can break down large smelly molecules. So your client says odor's gone, but they actually create molecules small enough that your client will now breathe them in, the breakup particles, and they'll stay in your lungs.
If you're going to build a new home for this client, first of all, the only part that I really know about is keep dry. Or just put it in probably a humidifier, to keep the relative humidity down. But you could probably do a good thing if you use a lot of natural materials. In other words, we got these things called wood, masonry.
Yep.
Good 21st century products.
Yep.
So I got three more quick ones. Real fast. One is UV-based particle killers. They break up particles. They're not as bad as the plasmas and the ozones. Second one is there's catalysts now that can go after certain, so UV and a catalyst combined with the filtration. That's like a purification system. And the third one is Adam Reiser in the back there has NGO board inside his house instead of drywall. Drywall, independent of it doesn't handle moisture very well. I mean, it can buffer it and all that, but there's a lot of fly action inside most sheetrock that it's a potential health concern for a lot of people. So you can switch that to magnesium oxide board, which is what much of the world uses instead of gypsum.
In other words,
There's lots of things.
they make it look more like a vertical wall.
I would just eliminate the sheetrock altogether.
Well, then I just sheetrock altogether.
Any other people being very patient?
Yeah. So what is a dehumidifier doing that an AC is not doing?
Okay. I was trying real hard today to avoid this being the first presentation. I know one more will too hard, I didn't tell you too much about dehumidifiers. The inside of the dehumidifier is exactly the same as the inside of an air conditioner, except the bottom is an air conditioner has an outdoor unit, right? Okay, something outside that protects the heat. The dehumidifier is an outdoor unit. We take that and put it right back in front of this cooling coil. But all the heat we take out of it right back into the air. So that's the only difference with the dehumidifier does not cool. In fact, it heats. That's the only difference.
Right.
It's
So it's more efficient.
Watch my back.
And the downside of using air conditioning for dehumidifying is that surprisingly enough, air conditioning makes things cold. So if we make things cold, and we don't want it cold, when we're uncomfortable, we do that raises relative humidity. Or we turn the air conditioners off, it doesn't work.
Right.
So a dehumidifier can run all day long, and it's good school. And in fact,
Right.
So, but they're also operating off of different sensors
yes,
as well.
yes.
One is just the temperature.
Well, we're controlling them by relative humidity, not by temperature, but getting out the weeds, the components are optimized for moisture control. Well, a little deeper, a little less air, a little more latent, a little less. But,
Yeah, coils flatter and longer.
yeah, but I mean, so something, so it's kind of like you develop your muscle more for strength and for speed.
Yeah.
Subtle differences.
Yeah.
It's an air conditioner.
So if your air conditioner and your furnace are maintaining that target or somehow maintaining 50% relative humidity, then
You're good to go, and now you can use it.
yeah,
Even though the dehumidifier, run the air conditioner.
yeah,
But when you don't need the air conditioner anymore, because the weather's changed,
right.
and you still have humidity, then you bring the dehumidifier. So the dehumidifier is a fall and spring, the shoulder period.
So what is the actual mechanism that's removing the moisture out of the air that you're bringing into the dehumidifier?
The cooling coil.
Okay, so there is a cold surface.
It's identical to an air conditioner.
There's just no blower on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so
Yeah,
is there a closed loop refrigerant system that is keeping that thing cold? Or making it cold when it says come on?
So believe it that, you got a better description than I have. Okay, we put the heat, the condenser is downstream of the cooling coil. So we're taking the heat and dumping it right back into the system.
Is it using the refrigerant?
Yes,
Where's the refrigerant coming from?
it's in a closed cycle.
It's in a closed cycle. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So if the dehumidifier was not on, right?
Yeah.
And I reached in and touched that surface, it would be cold all the time.
No,
Depends on where you
it
touch it.
only gets cold when we run it.
Okay.
What we need to do is.
Where's the same list of
Where are
refrigerators?
you expanding or compressing the gap? Where is that happening?
It's all you need to know.
Internally.
It's a problem that they can look at.
It's just one box, Jay, basically. It's kind of like having your AC coil and your outdoor unit all in the same box.
Okay.
So that there's no outside freon line, there's none of that stuff. It's just all contained in one box, just like if you had a plug-in model for frigid air at your house.
Where's the heat going that you're?
So it's making your model.
I hope you're not, I hope you have thick skin. You're doing what I do all the time, you're overthinking it.
The room gets hot.
Let's take an air conditioner, okay?
Yes.
You got the upper units, that's hot, right? The pressure's out there and heat comes out.
Yes.
All right, let's take that piece and move it inside the box. And now we'll take the cold air, we've got air conditioner, let's make air cold. Now we'll run over that hot part and put the heat right back into it, nothing back into it. And the water heats out, you got a drain part.
I mean, it's small enough, it's,
But no, the heat can be significant.
It heats up your house. Yeah, or your room, I should say. Not your house necessarily, but your room that's helping you to.
Ask me how I know. Before I got my work with the community.
Is it enough to where you have to include it in the calculation where you're trying to determine what the heating load is?
I would assume they would, yeah. I mean, you want to put it in a spot that you know that it's not going to be a comfort complaint from your clients. Like mine, I retrofitted my house and I put a small 70 pint model in. And mine blows in my hallway on the way to my kids' rooms. And I often have people that walk through, they're like, hey, why's your heat on so high? Well, they're feeling that the dehumidified air that's hotter than my room air hit them as they pass underneath that.
So do you see people wrapping these dehumid units with a bat blanket like we used to wrap our hot water heaters?
You don't need to, not necessarily. There's no storage in that tank, it's really just
The
dehumidified.
way we do that So the one way to deal with that is we inject the discharge and dehumidifier into the supply.
Yeah.
We distribute that heat all over the house. It's the same amount of heat. We haven't,
I see.
there's no thermodynamic free lunch. That heat's still coming to your house.
Yeah.
Instead of blasting on one, like an all-way, I don't know, they are, okay? We're putting a little bit all over the house.
Okay.
And then hopefully the air conditioner comes on and process that heat.
Okay.
I did not have that.
behind you.
And they're running a small CFM, so if you dumped it into your entire HVAC system, it's like 150 CFM or 200 CFM. So it'd be a little puff of air throughout all your registers, and you wouldn't know. My clients have never had a complaint on it. I don't have a complaint in my house because I retrofitted it and I put it in one location. Rather than
It's something out around like a light bulb's worth of heat. It's not.
Okay, okay.
That's
what I.
And then the gentleman don't agree with me, I'm sorry, these are smart people. I don't add the heat to the fire, I don't make this in there. My idea is that a good air conditioner will definitely take up the humidity, okay? On a peak summer day, the air conditioner should be able to remove all the humidity. The only time I want that dehumidifier to run is in cool weather, when the air conditioner is. Now, there can be exceptions to that. You feel strongly about it, whatever. I mean, if you're really concerned about it, I actually put a relay in there to stop the dehumidifier there. I would say there would be one major exception to what I just said. The air conditioner taking out the humidity is, in my experience, the Asian systems, the VRS systems that have a lot of fan control that eliminates the humidity. Their control strategy involves restricting the refrigerant flow, and the coil temperature rises. In other words, so the air going through a Mitsubishi or Daikin system simply never gets below the dew point, so no humidity comes out. So those systems, you better have a separate dehumidifier. You better have it from that summertime. You better have that into the calculation. I don't say that by bad mouthing the Mitsubishi or Daikin. I'm just saying, in fact, that's just physics, that's the way it works.
By doing that, they save energy.
Yeah, they save energy, by not having a coil in higher temperature.
So, the coil doesn't produce condensation?
Not very much.
But it can. It depends on the conditions, and they actually have a mode that you can manually put it in and take it out, where it does not need a refrigerant.
But if you do that, it's at the expense of making the space cold.
Correct.
So you remove the humidity because you raise the RH.
Yeah, so, yeah, the fifth is without a dedicated humidity control system. One of these, the only way to cool sometimes, dry sometimes is to overcool. The only way to dry is to overcool.
So I'm not throwing Daikin under the bus. There's an excellent Daikin split systems now, correct? When you're using them?
Mitsubishi, Daikin, LG.
And they're dehumidified, the regular split system. I'm talking about the very refrigerant flow.
Mm-hmm.
That's just physics, that's just inherent in that. Is your strict refrigerant flow, oil gets warmer, is dry. I had a house a couple of years ago that was making us crazy. The guy had spent literally $500,000 for an HVAC system. We kept the house at about 60%. Okay? But this house was going on the market for $58 million.
58 million?
Yeah. The guy bought it as a fixer up for $32 million.
So $500,000 for the air conditioning system, that's.
That was about $20 million anyway. And, trying to make a quick $5 million over about 3 years, yeah. So, okay, so that kind of a client, if he wants to set that dial to 50% and get 50% RH, I'll look at you, you better give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we did a lot of testing, we were, meetings and waters, and we needed gnashing teeth, and we finally found that the master bedroom could get dry. Well, first of all, the air handler didn't run. So we put waters on it for a few days, and then, well, it's never on. It ran from 7 to 8 o'clock last night. Okay, we're not gonna get much dehumidification. Then it did run, the leading air temperature was like, 54 degrees or something, it was dry. So it needed a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
So in that case, you do need a dehumidifier, those systems, and you better add it to the load.
So who here has heard that recommendation for dedicated dehumidification? In our climates in ASHRAE in 2001 or 3 wrote that. That's an absolute requirement. So this is something we didn't mention. I'm gonna help you with your commercial. I do not work for them. They come in a bunch of different sizes, vertical and horizontal units. This is where the air comes from your house. This is the ventilation air. This is the dry air coming out, the warm, dry air coming out. You want to take me through this?
No, go ahead.
So the air comes in, the return air comes in, it goes through this big white box, which is cold already, so it starts to get cold. And actually, some water will start falling out here depending on the air condition. This white box gets cold because we see the second, as the air comes in, goes through this cold coil. This is like the indoor unit on your air conditioner. Goes through the cold coil, now it's shedding all its water. Now it comes out here very cold and very dry. Comes around here through the heat exchanger, that's what caused the heat exchanger to be cold at the incoming air. Now, because there is no free lunch, you can't win, you can't get out of
Even if you can't get out of the gate.
So because this is cold, and it's just this box with a cord coming into it, something has to be hot, and it's this. So to keep this cold, we have to allow this to be hot. So this air comes through here now, remember it's dry and cold, comes through here. In order to keep the device running, comes through here, and then it goes out, and then you have warm and dry, and then they have these, and these are where they take the hot piece, you know, the hot air and sugar, and put it outside, connect it with refrigerant lines. It's fantastic. The 12 here means 12,000 BTUs an hour, it means 1 ton. That's the only thing that I don't love about it is it's big. I don't know exactly which house to apply it to, but we're going to convince them to make an SD6 and an SD3. So that's one way to do it. I'd love to ask offline about where is the best application of this. This is how you integrate it into your duct system. This is the controller, can actually be in the space monitoring at the controller, or it can be remote. You can have a remote sensor that's the R. You can run another wire out of that box. So that box can be in your mechanical closet with a wire going in conspicuously. And I'm sure soon it's going to be Wi-Fi. So that's all I have. So then I'm going to end. But yeah, they have quite a line, and one intangible is working with Thermostor or Ultra Air is their line. The Ultra Air is a line.
Thermostor is their company, Ultra is
this product.
yes.
So we can get on the phone with their engineers just like that. You can email them, call them. You don't get a call center in India.
Bring them to Austin.
They bring them to Austin. Exactly, it's in the room. And that makes a difference. I think we all know that. You can get support. They have MERV 13 and MERV 11 filters that filter the air coming in. And marginal cost on your projects, right? So I see how most of you that are left, you're doing pretty nice houses. Your clients could definitely afford this. Right? You know, this cost, it's probably, I don't know, $1,500 to a couple thousand for the box, and roughly the same amount for the install.
Man, how much? Great, think about it. How much you tell your clients?
Oh, and Matt Reisinger has some videos of these installed and things like that.
Say it again, Andy.
How much do these add to the cost of your home?
I put in $4,500 in every house for a bit.
And then what size would that be based on?
Usually the SD105 is sometimes the 150.
So the 105?
Usually the 105 to the 150.
Okay.
Is what I'm using. I like the 105 the best. It works for most
It has
normal
the
size
best
houses.
per watt. It has the lowest energy use.
It's the most efficient of the units. I've just started using SD12s. I put one in the client's house and I have one for my office. I'm about to install this spring. But I'm starting to do some larger square footage houses.
Does the 4,500, does that include an outside air duct and the damper and?
That's right. Yeah.
I'd say you're treating your customer. That's a good part. Yeah, that's a lot of work for $4,500.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal.
And if your installer knows it, it's pretty quick for them. It's like he uses Airride and Airride knows the system inside and out.
They're a huge benefit.
These three have a heat